Welcome to Be Bold Branding, where we discuss the power of differentiating yourself through your own unique story and standout personal brand. Today, we're talking with a guest who is known as the Money Healer. Doesn't that sound great?
I love that.
Dr. Amanda Barrientez is the founder of NFA, No Effing Around Money, right? Get that? No effing around money. And the creator of the Money Blocks Profile, which is very interesting. She's an expert at teaching entrepreneurs how to heal their relationship to money so they can work less, make more, and build successfully prosperous lives and businesses.
I love that. After going from food stamps to building a six-figure business fast, she's been on a quest to teach entrepreneurs how to up-level their money mindset so they can make easier money with way less stress, which is always good. She's going to share her story, exactly who she helps, and why she does what she does. Welcome to the program, Amanda. Dr. Amanda.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
You're so welcome. So tell us how you got started in this profession, Amanda. I know it's a great story. And on top of that, was there like a specific event or person in your life that kind of shaped this direction for you?
Yeah, definitely. I always think about entrepreneurs and how they get into entrepreneurship. I think it's something everybody wants to do, entrepreneurship. And then they get into it, they're like, oh, is this for me? And either it really is, or they're like, oh dear, I need a paycheck. So, I'd say a lot of my life, I was very independent and didn't love to be told what to do. So, entrepreneurship, it suits me well, but I didn't really step into it for that reason. For me, it really started with relationship fallout. So I had left my 15-year marriage having an affair. And then my next relationship wasn't working well. So I was on the floor crying one night and I was looking out at this empty basement. My boyfriend had moved out and I was just crying, going, I don't know where I'm going to live. I was on Craigslist looking for houses. I had 3 kids and I was in grad school. And the place that I lived was really expensive. And so my income didn't meet the needs to find a place to live. And so I was just going, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. I had already been seeing a free counselor who said, you got to go on food stamps. I had a whole bunch of shame around that. And, so luckily I got a call from subsidized housing and they're like, we have a spot for you, which really saved the day. But in all of this mess, I really realized this night when I was laying on the floor crying that I was the center of all of the things that were going on in my reality. And so I had the epiphany of, I got to do something different. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to have better relationships and make more money. And I didn't really know where that was going to lead me, but it right away led me to podcasts because I was so busy that, I didn't have a lot of extra time and I didn't have any extra money. And so I had to learn on the go for free. And so I just started listening to podcasts nonstop, when I was walking to classes and when I was doing the dishes and taking the kids to school. And I just started realizing that there are answers and that you can build skills to change your reality. And no one had really ever taught me that before. It was interesting to be in grad school and learning so much, but not in the way of life skills or money skills or relationship skills. And so as I was learning all those things, my life started to really change. And I think the universe works in really magical ways. So it's magic, it's quantum physics, it's all these fun things. But while I was going through all of this, I realized all of these podcasts are done by coach type people. Maybe I could make money doing what I love, which was teaching, and I could have a big impact. And simultaneously, our department that I was in had this national news fallout where professors were leaving, people were really stressed. And I was like, I don't want to do this job. And so I decided I'm going to finish my degree and I'm going to take the leap and become an entrepreneur and see what happens. And in that first year, I went 6 figures and, learned a lot since then. That was only a couple of years ago.
That's awesome.
Wow. Only a couple of years ago, you've come a long way, baby.
I have.
That's awesome. I can just picture like that scenario as you painted it. You're lying there on the floor, looking around, thinking, how am I going to live here? You have 3 kids in graduate school. Wow. What a load of, stress.
Oh, yeah. And a motivator, no doubt. It really hits home with me because I was raised by a single mother that sort of could parallel that story a lot.
Yep.
And so it really hits home with me. And it was me and my sisters. I was in the middle of 2 sisters. So, entrepreneurship, it came to me early on because I wanted to control my own destiny too. even though that destiny, you don't know what that looks like when you first step out, you know, and say, oh, I just want to be an entrepreneur. Okay, now I'm starving to death. But
yeah, you know, the benefit of starting out not having a lot of money was that I didn't need to make a lot of money in the beginning. So it was, I bootstrapped everything and really just hustled and didn't have to make that much. And so every client I got, it was like, oh, here's 2 more months of living. Okay, I can make it for 2 more months. And then I just kept going and it just kept growing. And it was really wild. But I so agree. It is a huge motivator when you're at the bottom.
it is. There's a freedom there that
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know, you know, they and this is a little off script really, but I think it's worthy of talking about. You know, there's a freedom in starting there at the bottom that a lot of people don't fully understand when they have good paying jobs or something, and think, oh, you know, I'm tired of this guy being on top of me all the time, making sure I'm doing my work. I want to be an entrepreneur of my own, right? And then they're hung in that juxtaposition of, you know, of giving up what you have to gain what you want, and you need to be sure that that's what you want, because you're going to give up what you have for something you thought you wanted, and then that can always be a problem. But when you start from that position of we don't have a choice, it's really powerful. And you hear people talk about it all the time, like you need to burn your bridges behind you, because there's no backing up. If you're going to go this direction, you've got to plow and go forward from here on out. And you were in that position, but there's a lot of people in that position that don't do that. And you just buckled down and said, I'm going to make this work. And that's huge.
Yeah. You know, I love what you're saying. I always think about it as the curse of the comfort zone. You know, for me, I was really uncomfortable already. So it was like, why not go for it and see what happens? Whereas, you know, if I had a really high paying job, I see this with people I work with sometimes, you know, it's like, well, I don't know if I want to leave. I don't want to take that leap because I've been giving up this really cush job and I have a lot of security and benefits and all those things. And so in some ways it's a beautiful place to be at the bottom and, you know, just be able to take that leap, just like you're saying. And, you know, we get stuck in comfort zone, and I was not in comfort zone. And so it was easier to take that leap, I think.
Yeah, I don't think either that it changes over time. Like, because I think that and you probably are seeing this too. I know we've experienced it. Tanya's been an entrepreneur for many, many, many years, and I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I worked for somebody for 6 months during my senior year of high school, and that's been about it. Ever since I've been, you know, having to find my own clients or whatnot. I don't say that to brag. It's no different, because when you reach certain plateaus in business, you really start that process over again. You're sitting in a place where you're doing okay, you're making 6 figures, but you want to make 7, right? And now you're like, I got to give up this, you know, I got to gamble this solid 6 right here, this mid 6. I got to gamble this to get to that 7. And then you get to the 7 and then you're like, oh, what's 8 like? You know what I mean? Like, it's never going to stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you're like Jeff Bezos or something, maybe he's not looking for that next comma or 0, but the rest
probably
of
is.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say are some of the common mistakes that people make when it comes to like a money mindset that you deal with?
You know, I think that the most common mistake first is thinking that it's not something that can be learned. So, or that people don't even know they have an issue, you know, so they go, I hear people all the time say, I don't have any money blocks. And then I'll talk to them for 3 minutes and be like, oh yeah, I have money blocks. So it doesn't matter what level of income you're at, you have money blocks. So anytime you don't feel at a 10 about the way you make money, save money, invest money, grow your money, then you have a money block. And I've never met a person, I don't care how much money they make, that doesn't have money blocks. And it's because it's rooted in all of our limiting beliefs. And so, you know, I always tell people that your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. And if you don't like what you're getting on the outside, you've got to change what's within. So if you feel any guilt, shame, or fear, or resentment, or jealousy, or judgment around money, and you just don't feel it at 10, then you have money blocks. And so I think the thing that's very common for people is to think, I love money, I want more money, you know, and they work hard for it, especially entrepreneurs. They're willing to work really hard for their money. What sometimes they don't realize is they're addicted to stress. They're not present. They don't feel good about the way they're making money. They feel scared about the future of if the money's going to go away. they feel like they've got to sometimes hide it. You know, sometimes wealthy people will even have what's called wealth shame, where they minimize the amount they make, or they don't talk to people about it, or they hide it in a way because they're embarrassed and they think, oh no, what if they think I'm a jerk or I'm a greedy jerk because I make so much money? I mean, there's all different ways that these show up. So I think one of the big things is that people don't recognize that they have money blocks. And then when they do, they're not quite sure what to do about it.
Well put. I would definitely say I've had money blocks for sure. There's no doubt that there have been many times where scared to let go of something for some other reason. Definitely have felt that, well, I don't want to boast. I don't want to brag. I don't want to be out here. And people think, well, he's just arrogant guy that, that didn't come up with a broke mother and, two sisters.
Yeah.
Right. So I definitely agree with that. Never thought about it, actually, that all of us have these unless somebody shows us how to get rid of them and how to, we say something with BrandFace that's very important. We teach people that it's hard to read the label when you're inside the jar. Like you need somebody outside of you to show you what your brand should be and how that brand will make you money if you will allow somebody to look at that. It applies here just as good as anything else in your craft, because there's no doubt everybody has a block of some kind.
Yeah.
For their success or their money.
Yeah, I love that. It's so true.
That leads to the next question for you, Amanda. This is a lot like what we do with personal branding. People sometimes don't feel they're worthy. Sometimes they feel like they don't want to put themselves out there because they don't want people to see them as arrogant or egotistical. And so you've got a lot of those same blocks about growing your own personal self and personal brand. And so there's a lot of alignment here. What would you say holds them back most of all from developing that right mindset? I know you say the blocks, right? So if that blocks are the answer, maybe what are some of the most common blocks?
Well, when I do the money blocks profile with people, there's 3 different main types. So it's money is bad, money is scarce, and money causes stress. And I think of those as paradigm beliefs, where under each of those, you're going to have different beliefs based on your upbringing. And so this is never to blame your parents or the people who raised you. It's about recognition and awareness so that you can choose from today forward how you want to consciously relate to money and your reality. And so, under those, it's like money is bad could be something, often that's a wealth shame piece where I'm afraid I'm going to look like an egocentric jerk or a greedy jerk if I have too much money. So a lot of times this will show up in entrepreneurship often as people saying it's, I was given this gift. It's not spiritual to make too much money, or well, I can't charge that much because it's not spiritual, or it's bad to have too much money. Somewhere in their belief system they have, and it's bad to make too much money. Often you'll find a lot of people volunteering too much of their time, where they're suffering but they're still volunteering their time and not making enough money. Under the money is scarce, this is obviously all of these in a big way are scarcity limiting beliefs, but under the really specific money is scarce, it'll be people who you could see someone in this one make a lot of money and they're still always worried there's never going to be enough. And so they keep working really hard. And sometimes they just have the scarcity that they're not enough. So then they struggle with imposter syndrome, self-doubt, and they really work hard to prove themselves. So you'll see them learning a lot and getting as many credentials as they can to prove that they're smart. And it doesn't always lead to money. Sometimes it leads to a lot of money. It just leads to this feeling of there's never enough. Could be there's not enough time to work out and have a successful business. There's not enough time to have a great relationship and have a successful business. So I see a lot of that in the money is scarce money block. And then under the money causes stress, this is an interesting one. It could come from, let's say, your parents fighting about money when you were younger. You saw a lot of stress. Maybe they worked a lot and they made a lot of money, but you saw that it caused some stress and they weren't balanced. Or they worked a lot and didn't make a lot, and you still develop this thought money causes stress. And oddly, what happens here is that people will fill their plate with so much to do at all points in time, because they have the underlying belief money causes stress, and we create in our reality what we believe to be true consciously or unconsciously. So if they believe money causes stress, they keep creating situations where money causes stress.
Yep.
And so these show up time and time again with it, and they'll show up over and over in different ways in your life. Sometimes you'll have all 3, sometimes you'll be really working through one, then you'll break through the next level in this evolutionary upward spiral trajectory. And then you see the next level and you go, oh, now I'm facing this one. Or you'll break through to a new level of your business or have a baby or get married. And then all of a sudden you're at a new money block level and you just keep facing it. So I always think of this work as an ongoing journey of self-discovery.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I love that.
My money blocks have been more around stress than anything. And I think it's that way with a lot of very independent people.
Yeah.
Because if, you know, the common saying when I was growing up that actually my mom taught to me, Mom, I'm not blaming you, I swear, is if it is to be, it is up to me. Right.
Yeah.
And so, and I was always very independent from a very young age. So it's like, okay, if I'm going to make this happen, it's all up to me. And then you start a business, you have team members, you're training people, you're trying to get people to do the things so that you don't have to do them all. And only through those exercises have I been able to just like let go of a little bit of that money is stress, money is stress, money is stress,
Yeah.
you know, because you go from doing it all yourself to, okay, now I can relax just a little bit, enjoy, you know, the progress, enjoy the prosperity, because there are other people involved in making this happen. But it is a journey. You're absolutely right. It's a journey, and it does change, evolve over time.
Yeah,
It's a
absolutely.
fascinating topic. And I think the one that has really just made me curious for many years is of people afraid to be successful, right? We see that in the branding area a lot. It's like, and I always thought, who on earth is like afraid to be successful, right?
But it's so true.
And I don't know that I have ever had that particular block. Maybe I have, and you know, maybe you're saying, "Oh yes, you have." I'm hearing it in all your voice and everything you're saying, right? But I've never been able to fathom that one. But as I work with more and more people in the personal branding space, I see that come to fruition, and I think, wow, this really is a problem.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. I think of that one most commonly as money causes stress. And what it is like responsibility causes stress. And they see the success as responsibility and could be burdensome and could cause them to not have time freedom. And so often before people are successful at all, they'll make up a big story in their mind. Oh, what if I get so successful, I don't even have time to do my regular everyday life? And so they sabotage before they even start to be successful in the area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have actually heard that on the phone with people that were considering coming into our personal branding program. It's like, well, what if this brand works so well for me that I'm just overwhelmed? I have way too much, because I can't have way too much. I've got kids, I've got this. And I thought, just first of all, just relax for a minute, you know. Second of all, here's plan A and B for when you get overflow. You can still make money by referring the business out. Okay. So we go through, you know, I do have to go through that exercise with some of them, but it's fascinating. And focusing on this topic, I think, is going to help a lot of people, Amanda.
Yeah. Do you think that, like in that particular, for instance, sometimes people are afraid of how to say no to turn, you know, because there's definitely ways to turn away business. I mean, there's definitely ways to, like Tanya said, especially like in a real estate business or something like that, there's referrals there, you know, oh, I'm overwhelmed, I can't do this. Well, you got 1,000 people around you, you know, that aren't doing anything in real estate, and they'll help you out. Just call them. They'll be on it. Do you think that it's a, you know, inability or fear of saying no, possibly? Is that
absolutely? Yeah, really, when people have that fear of success going on, often I go first to the money causes stress, but then you couple it with money is scarce, because what it is a scarcity block, like exactly like you're saying. I'm not enough, so I don't know how to set boundaries. I need to say yes to everything, and I've got to like get people to like me, and so I'm afraid I won't be able to say no, which means I'll be overwhelmed, and then money causes stress, and I wouldn't want to be that successful. So it's all this stuff that comes up, instead of going like, how could I handle X amount of dollars? How could I handle X amount of clients? And getting creative about it, because when we come from a place of confidence, so, you know, the opposite of money blocks is money confidence. So we're going, I'm confident, which means I know, love, and trust myself. So when I know myself, I know what I love to do in the world. I know my zone of genius. I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm skilled at. I know what I'm incompetent at. When you love yourself, you love all the parts of yourself, and you don't beat yourself up. You don't have that inner critic voice yelling at you all the time. And when you trust yourself, you're resourceful, and you know, I can find new creative ways to bring in new business, to say no, to refer, to delegate. And then you have this confidence where you go like, okay, I can move through this. It's okay. What if my business gets crazy successful? Bring it on. That's awesome. I'll figure it out as I go.
Yes.
Exactly.
I love that. I think that I got lucky in life early on because with my parents divorcing, my mom ending up where she was, right? Sort of like your situation, you know, very, very distraught, scared, not knowing how am I going to feed these 3 kids and stuff. And my dad was gone, and he had built a pretty successful business, but then he destroyed it with the same attitude that he destroyed his marriage with, right? And I'm not beating up on dad. I'm just saying he's learned his lesson, or did. And so, you know, everything's good in that. But he had a friend that I saw that was in the same industry. And I remember behind a closed door being in the lobby of his business as it was crashing, right? And this guy saying, "You're scared of success. Dude, you're scared of success." My dad got livid. Oh, he got so mad, right? It's a booting the guy out and everything. How dare he talk to me that way? You know, but it stuck because I was like 8 or 9 years old. It stuck in my mind.
Yeah.
Well, later on in life, I saw that very guy that gave him that advice tank 2 businesses before he got a 3rd business that just exploded, just like, I mean, huge millions. And I think of being early on like that, I was able to see through that guy's advice behind a closed door.
Right.
And I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to be scared of success like that. And I also saw this guy that clearly was not scared of success or failure, because 2 of his businesses went under. Dad's business went under, but dad never really caught on to that. Maybe I am scared of success. Maybe I did not control everything out of scarcity. Maybe I didn't approach life with an abundant thought process. And Larry did, his friend did, and just huge.
That's amazing. It's amazing that you were that self-aware at that age. You know, I think about my NFA money formula is 3 steps. It's recognize your blocks, reframe your beliefs, and then repeat to reprogram, you know, through repetitive action. So it's like you're recognizing that at a young age helps you to be consciously aware, because anything you're unconscious of is going to have to play out again and again and again in your life until you become conscious of it. And so if you're afraid of success, you're going to keep this sabotage cycle going until someone helps you see, hey, dude, you're in a sabotage cycle. And then it's easier to start going, oh, do I want to keep repeating this reality, or do I reframe and start taking action in a different direction? And then my success will change because I've changed from the inside out.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow, Dr. Amanda, this is good stuff, man. We could go on for years about this.
It's so fun to talk about.
Well, we're going to shift now due to time, and let's talk about your brand a little bit. This is 5 questions that we like to ask our guests that sort of like gives you an idea where you stand, and you're going to do great at it. We can already tell. Okay. Question number 1. What sets you apart from others in your industry?
Oh, easy. I'd say boldness. Being bold. I mean, using the F word in your company brand is pretty bold. And so it automatically has people come my way or be like, I wouldn't want to work with her because that word bothers me. So that alone is something that really helps people understand who I am at the core. Is like, I'm not messing around. I care about you. I care about your success, and I'm going to be a straight shooter with you.
Love it.
I do too.
Fantastic.
All right. Question number 2. Exactly who do you serve? Who are your ideal customers?
I serve pre-6-figure entrepreneurs who are ready to break through the next level. So they're ready to really develop that money confidence and work through their FUD, their fear, uncertainty, and doubt that causes them to have all of those limiting beliefs that keep them from getting where they want to go.
Awesome. And how do you serve them?
I serve them through helping them understand themselves. So in my NFA money formula, the first step is always recognition. So I serve them through, you know, practically speaking, through online courses, one-on-one coaching. I have a YouTube channel, a whole bunch of awesome value in the world, my money blocks profile quiz, different ways like that. And in that, our first step is always to help them start to recognize what their unconscious beliefs are.
Perfect. Number 4, what qualifies you to serve them?
I would say my own breakthrough story. So helping myself go from a really stuck victim mindset where I felt scared and alone and really in survival mode, and then breaking through and realizing, oh, money making is just a skill that anyone can learn. Similarly with relationships, oh, relationships are just a skill anyone can learn, you know? So it's like, I've repaired my relationship with my ex-husband, have great relationships, just got married to like the man of my dreams. Like, you know, really that breakthrough of myself and retraining myself in a new direction and then helping other people do the same thing with a systematized approach.
Beautiful.
That's great. Yeah. Experience is the best teacher, right?
You bet.
And number 5 is my favorite one. And it might seem a bit redundant, but I love it. How does it make their life better, your client's life?
I don't think there is a better gift you can give someone than having confidence. And, money confidence, if you don't have money, everything in life feels pretty harsh. And so having the level of money you want, whatever that is for you, which is that confidence piece where love and trust yourself and you decide, here's what I say I want, I can go and get it. It's a priceless gift that I can bring to people.
I would agree with
Agreed.
that.
Agreed.
100%.
All right. What's next for you, Amanda?
Ooh, right now I'm so excited. This week, actually, I'm launching NFA Money Mamas. So I have a NFA Money Mama Mastermind. So I'm really inspired in 2022 to empower women financially. My research in grad school was in gender studies. I'm a sociologist. And so there was a lot of looking at the different ways that women and men think about money. And so I am so excited about that community. And then big on my plate is becoming a YouTube influencer. So I'm really hyper focused in 2022 on growing my YouTube audience and really bringing value to them through releasing 5 videos a week. So that's been fun.
That's bold.
That is bold.
Yeah.
That is an undertaking. We know a little bit about it.
Yes.
That's great though. Well, how can prospects reach you should they want to have questions or want to work with you? I'd
say anyone, if they were listening to this and this resonated, I would definitely take the Money Blocks profile. It's a free quiz. It'll take less than 2 minutes to understand their top money block. And it gives a really great free printout PDF of exercises for them to do. So if they go to NFA, on that one, actually, moneyblocksprofile.com, plural, moneyblocksprofile.com, they can find all kinds of awesome stuff on NFAmoney.com. And I'm not sure when this will be released, but I have my NFA Money formula, which is free and paid resources all in one place with awesome training videos and all kinds of cool stuff if they go to NFAmoneyformula.com.
Perfect.
Is great.
Amanda, you are lovely. You are a breath of fresh air. Thank you so much for taking time to be with us today, because this is a huge topic. And if you guys have any questions, if there's even a question in your mind, you need to contact Amanda. Go take that money profile quiz.
Absolutely.
Go take it. Or money block
I do
profile.
believe this is working with salespeople all my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then owning a real estate company, a brokerage where I have salespeople, I'm constantly training, right? And trying to show them these things that they have. This really speaks to me. So I suggest that anybody listening, go check out Dr. Amanda on this, because you've got them, whether you want to admit them or not. And so go to her and let her clear them and clear that path for you, because it'll make a huge difference. I'm quite certain. So,
yeah.
Well,
if you guys learned something today that helps you or inspires you, I know we did. We encourage you to like it, love it, share it, and ding, subscribe, so you can be the first one to learn about the next episode.
Absolutely, guys. Listen, it's all about prosperity. And when we say prosperity, we're not just talking about money. That is a portion of it, but we're talking about the full 360 of an abundant life that we truly wish for every one of you. We know at BrandFace that prosperity favors the bold. So we say be bold, especially with your brand, especially in 2022. Thank you, Dr. Amanda, and thank you, Ms. Tom.
Thank you. We'll see you guys next time on Be Bold Branding.
Brought to you by BrandFace, the only comprehensive personal brand building system across the globe.